having a study of the UV visible spectrum also, and just we have now come to know that okay, we can come to know why such bands are present in the spectrum. I mean, what is the reason of the presence of those bands? It is pi pi star transition or n pi star transition, and so on and so forth. And also vice versa, we can also predict the spectrum or study the spectrum, okay, of our unknown sample also. Now let's come to the various factors that are actually affecting the lambda max value. In other words, the maximum absorption which is obtained at a particular wavelength value, which we refer to as the lambda max value, okay, it can change. It can change due to various reasons. Okay, it's not necessary that if I attain a lambda max of 187 nanometers in case of acetone, okay, it will be just forever sake. No, it might change. Now, what are those factors that can change the lambda max values? Let's try to understand. The first factor is the conjugation effect. Okay, before moving into this conjugation effect in detail, let's try to understand what actually is conjugation. Okay, we have a molecule. Okay, let me take the simplest one. Okay, containing two carbon atoms, and obviously all the other valencies are satisfied with hydrogen over here, and these two carbon atoms are bonded by means of a double bond. That means one pi and one sigma bond is present. Okay, now what do? I take another molecule. Let's say I increase the number of carbon atoms. Okay, so carbon 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's say 8 number of carbon atoms. Okay, okay, I put a double bond here, and these two are also bonded by means of double bond, and these two are also bonded by means of double bonds, and the rest of the bonds of the carbon of each carbon are satisfied with the hydrogen. Okay, so my first molecule contains one double bond, and my second molecule contains three double bonds. So it is single double, single double, single double, single double, and so on and so forth. Such an arrangement of alternate double bonds over here, or alternate pi bonds over here in general, it is called as a conjugated system. Okay, now once we have understood the conjugated system, now let's move. How does this system affects the lambda max values or the maximum absorption value? Okay, fine. When two or more chromophores actually they get joined to each other by means of conjugation, then the lambda max value gets shifted to the higher wavelength or the shorter frequency value. Okay, fine. Why does this happen actually? Let's try to understand with the help of this particular picture. Now, this example, I label it as 1, and this one I label it as 2. Okay, now my example 1 carries a non-conjugated system. As you can also see from the structural diagram of this molecule, there is only one pi bond present over here and none other. Okay, so this is an example of, let's say, a non-conjugated pi electron system. My second molecule, what have I done? I have simply added another carbon-carbon double bond to the first molecule, and then I attain the second molecule. So my second molecule consists of two pi bonds, which are alternate to one sigma bond. So it is pi, sigma, pi, double, single, double. Okay, so this forms a conjugated system. Okay, so in a non-conjugated system, there is the presence of one pi bond or the pi electron and a sigma bond or a sigma electron. So what type of transition will take place over here? Obviously, it will be sigma-sigma star transition, which will be requiring very high value of energy. So we don't include it in this spectroscopy over here. And the second one is actually the pi electron, which is the most probable transition. Okay, the pi electron is present, so that means pi pi star transition will be one of the major transition in this particular molecule. And you know, since the pi pi star transition over here is possible, which is represented in the figure also, so the pi electron sitting in the highest occupied molecular orbital, that is the outermost molecular orbital, okay, it will jump from its place. Suppose this is the electron, it will jump from its place to a next higher energy level, which is empty, which is waiting for it to arrive. That is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Okay, which it was empty earlier. Okay, so my electron jumped from this position, HOMO to LUMO. And this much amount of gap in these corresponding to these two energy orbitals, this much amount of gap represented by delta T over here, it is required for my electron to make a jump to the next higher energy level. Okay, now let us see what happens to the conjugated system. The conjugated pi electron system which are present over here. Now there are two pi orbitals. Why? Because there are two pi bonds. Okay, I label it as pi 1 and pi 2. Right. Okay, so there will be one orbital due to pi 1, okay, and another one will be due to pi 2. Okay, so these are the occupied molecular orbitals. Pi 1 is due to this bond and pi 2 will be due to this bond. Okay, the highest occupied molecular orbital acquires the electron. Okay, and likewise there will be pi 1 star and pi 2 star also antibonding electrons which are or which will be present in this particular molecule. Okay, now what happens actually, the electron jumps from the HOMO to LUMO, highest occupied molecular orbital. That is the thumb rule. Okay, in every transition over here in UV visible spectroscopy, this is the thumb rule that the electron is ought to jump from the HOMO to the LUMO levels. Okay, so my electron will jump from this energy level to the next higher, just next higher energy level, that is pi star. Now what has happened over here? Due to conjugation, the HOMO is uplifted from this position to this position. Okay, and due to conjugation itself, the LUMO has been suppressed from this position to this position, corresponding to LUMO over here, corresponding to HOMO over here. So what has happened? Due to the presence of conjugation or due to the introduction of conjugation in a molecule, actually the HOMO gets uplifted, okay, and the LUMO gets suppressed in energy or depressed in energy. Now due to this process, what is happening, the energy gap also decreases. It was earlier this much, but now it has been shifted up to lower energy difference value. So that is why whenever the conjugation is introduced in a molecule, finally what happens, the energy gap between the two transition levels, it decreases. Okay, and we know energy is what? Energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. E is equal to hc over lambda. So when the energy gets decreased, okay, that means now the electron will be requiring only this much amount of energy, and earlier when there was no conjugated system, it was requiring this much, this big much amount of energy. Okay, so in the conjugated system, what has happened, energy gap has decreased. So if the energy has decreased, the wavelength will increase. So in other words, what is the effect of conjugation to the lambda max value, to the wavelength value, maximum absorption value? Since the energy gets decreased due to the introduction of conjugation, so the lambda max will increase. Okay, so we say as a result, less energy is required for the electronic transition in a conjugated system as compared to a non-conjugated system. And since lesser energy is required, so that means wavelength is increased. Okay, now let us try to understand with these two structural examples. We have acetone on one side and we have methyl vinyl ketone on the other side. Okay, now for acetone, you know, one pi bond, one sigma bond, that is the only feature over here, and a lone pair of electrons on the oxygen. Okay, what is the difference between the two molecules? Okay, methyl vinyl ketone, methyl, which is here, and this is the vinyl group, so methyl vinyl ketone. Okay, so there is one pi bond and there is another pi bond. That means what has happened over here, in the case of acetone, only one pi bond is present, so that is a non-conjugated system. But in case of methyl vinyl ketone, two pi bonds are present and which are alternate to a sigma bond, so double, single, double, or let's say single, double, single, double. So that makes a conjugated system. Often these type of questions are asked in different ways. For example, they can be asked that acetone shows a lambda max value at 187 nanometers, whereas if we add a group to it carrying a double bond, or if we add a conjugated group to it, then the lambda max changes to 290 nanometers. Why? Okay, this can be one type of question frame. Another type of question frame, which is the easiest one to frame, is actually differentiate between acetone and methyl vinyl ketone on the basis of UV visible spectroscopy. So whenever such type of example comes in front of you, to differentiate in any two compounds on the basis of this spectroscopy, you please first draw the structure of those molecules. Okay, so when you draw the structure of those molecules representing each and every bond and the non-bonded electrons as well, you get an overview as to what type of electrons are present in those molecules. And there lies the point wherein you can differentiate between those different types of electrons present in the two different molecules. And the moment you come to know about the different types of electrons, definitely you will come to know the different types of transitions. And from that different type of transition, you definitely can predict, okay, such number of bands can be present or are present in this particular molecule, and that lies the underlying point or underlying part of the differentiation of these two different of the two any two different molecules provided to you. Okay, so that is how you solve such type of questions. Okay, let's come back to the acetone and methyl vinyl ketone. We know that the conjugated system has been introduced in the methyl vinyl ketone. So definitely whenever the conjugation has been extended in a molecule, what will happen? Energy gap will decrease. Okay, and the energy gap will decrease. What does that mean? The wavelength will increase. Wavelength, what do we mean by wavelength over here? The lambda max we are talking about. And what is lambda max actually? Lambda max is that wavelength at which my compound shows maximum absorption of UV visible radiation, or the radiation that has been subjected to it. Okay, so in methyl vinyl ketone, extended conjugation has been introduced. Okay, so just because of that, the lambda max earlier in case of an acetone, which was at 187 nanometer, will now be shifted. Why does it shift? Because a conjugation has been introduced. And will it shift towards higher value or will it shift towards a lower value? Definitely it will shift towards the higher level value. Why? Because the energy is decreasing now due to conjugation. Okay, so methyl vinyl ketone will show lambda max at 219 instead of 187, and another one at 324 instead of 270 nanometers. And you know the reason why these two bands are there. One is because of the pi star transition, and the other because of n electrons on the oxygen atom in both the cases. Okay, so due to more, you will say that due to more extensive pi system of conjugated double bonds in methyl vinyl ketone, both the N to pi star transition and pi to pi star transition in case of methyl vinyl ketone, they will occur at a longer wavelength. Why? Because the energy gap has decreased now, as we have shown in the earlier slides. Okay, fine. So I hope you will be able to solve such type of questions now. Okay, this is just another way out of telling you the effect of conjugation on the value of lambda max, wherein we have taken simple hydrocarbons. Okay, there is no carbonyl group or that kind of functional group wherein heteroatom is attached. Okay, so we have only pi bond structures over here. First molecule, it is the simplest hydrocarbon, unsaturated hydrocarbon, consists of one double bond, whereas the second molecule there are two double bonds. So here also you can differentiate on the basis of same pattern. You have a single pi bond over here, whereas you have double single double bond. So an extended conjugation system has been introduced in this molecule, in the second molecule. It is a diene. You can see two double bonds, so we call it as a diene. Okay, so again, what just the same explanation. In the first molecule it was pi energy orbital. My electrons are sitting in this pi energy orbital, and this is the HOMO orbital. Okay, and another next higher energy level orbital is the pi star orbital. Okay, pi star energy level. Okay, and my electron will jump from HOMO to the LUMO. The energy gap over here, it is 176 kilocalories per mole. Okay, now let me see if I get the same value over here. There are two pi bonds over here, so there will be pi 1 energy level and pi 2 energy level. Okay, now similarly, likewise, there will be pi 1 star and pi 2 star energy levels. So what has happened over here? The number of occupied orbitals have increased here due to the presence of two double bonds. Okay, the moment the more you introduce more pi orbitals over here, obviously this gap keeps on decreasing. So in this case, in the second case molecule, the energy gap will not be 176 kilocalories per mole, but definitely it will be lesser than the 176 kilocalories per mole. Why? Because a conjugated system has been introduced over here. Okay. Now the question arises. In the second molecule, we have two double bonds. What if I introduce another conjugated skeletal system to this molecule? Okay, what do I mean by that? That means, let me say I introduce one more CH2 group over here. Okay, so it will be double, single, and another CH2 group with a double bond. So what will happen? We will be having 3 pi bonds in that case. 3 pi bonds means conjugated system has been further extended. Now in that case, what will I have here? Pi 1, pi 2, and then pi 3. Okay, and here also pi 1, pi 2, and pi 3. So in the third case that we have imagined a molecule with 3 pi bonds, this energy gap will further decrease. Okay, so it keeps on decreasing. The energy keeps on decreasing. The transition energy keeps on decreasing, and likewise the wavelength keeps on increasing. Okay, so in the second molecule over here, the energy gap will be less than 176 kilocalories per mole. Likewise, the wavelength will be higher than what it is observed in the first example. Okay, so the conjugated dienes actually absorb at a relatively longer wavelength than do the isolated alkenes wherein no conjugated system is present. Okay. These are further examples and the representations of the effect of conjugation in further detail. We have taken the example of beta carotene over here, which is present in carrots, and we know the carrot is reddish, or orange, or orange in color. This is the skeletal structure of the beta carotene. You can see the huge number of conjugated system over here. Double, single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double, single. So the first thing you need to fetch in a molecule is actually the presence of a conjugated system. This is the thumb rule for the assessing the molecule in UV visible spectroscopy. The moment you get a click on the conjugated system, you'll be able to solve the question definitely without any doubt. Okay, so beta carotene, this is a spectrum obtained for beta carotene, and it shows an absorption peak between the range of 400 to 500. You can see over here, there are two peaks over here, one smaller and the one larger one. Okay, and this actually occurs in the region of blue-green part. The absorption occurs in the blue-green part of the spectrum, and that is why this part is absorbed. This part of the spectrum is absorbed and the other is reflected. That is why we see a red or yellow color carrot. Okay, so this is an example of beta carotene, and a small representation of the general idea of the effect of conjugation is given in this particular graph. Here we see 3 types of curves. All these curves represent a conjugated system, but the extent of conjugation is different in the 3 curves. Okay, the green curve, the green spectrum I should say, for any molecule, it consists of number of conjugated system as 3. Okay, now I increase the number of conjugated system to this molecule. I make it as 4. So my spectrum will appear like this. Okay, I make the number of conjugated system as 5. My spectrum will change to this type. So what is happening in all the cases? Earlier the lambda max was lying over here when the number of conjugated system is 3. When the number of conjugated system has increased to 4, the lambda max has shifted to this value. Again, when the system has been shifted to the number of conjugated system as 5, the lambda max for the same peak has shifted to this value. So what is happening? The lambda max is shifted towards the right, or in other words, the lambda max is increasing in every case. So you keep on adding the conjugation, the lambda max will keep on increasing. This is what is happening actually when a conjugation is being introduced to the molecule. Yes, definitely it is going to affect the lambda max value, that is the maximum absorption at a particular wavelength shown by that particular molecule. Okay, and it will keep on increasing the value of lambda max. This is how it affects the UV visible band. The second factor that affect the band is the presence of steric hindrance. Okay, Now, actually, this effect can also lead us to the one of the applications of UV visible spectroscopy. Okay, so this can also act as the application also. How does the steric hindrance plays its role in the value of lambda max? Okay, let's try to understand this with the help of an example, steel beam. Steel beam consists of two aromatic rings, two benzene rings over here and over here. And I have drawn the structures of the two geometrical isomers of steel beam. This is cis steel beam. Cis, as you know, on the same side of double bond. So that is a cis structure of steel beam. Okay, and this is the trans steel beam. Trans, you know, trans isomer is the one wherein the substituents lie on opposite sides of the double bond. So this is the trans structure of steel beam. Now what happens actually, the trans structure or the trans isomer of a molecule of any substance, it is planar in nature. Okay, it is planar in nature. What about the cis isomer? Cis isomer loses its planarity. Cis isomer loses its planarity. So when the cis isomer loses the planarity, what happens? These two bulky groups, they are lying on the same side of the double bond. Okay, the two bulky groups, they lie on the same side of the double bond, and this causes steric hindrance. The moment the steric hindrance is caused, obviously there will be a change in the lambda max. Why? Because planarity is lost. Okay, so when the molecule is planar, it is, let's say it's cool, calm, serene. Okay, so what will happen? Lesser amount of energy will be required for the transition to take place. So lesser the energy, higher the wavelength. This is the basic difference. Okay, so the trans isomer will give you lambda max at a higher value as compared to the cis isomers. More effective, the pi orbital overlapping is present in the trans isomer, that results in the achievement of coplanarity. Okay, that is why the trans isomer is planar in nature. Why? Because effective pi orbital can result, whereas it is not the case of the cis isomer. Okay, so that can be a differentiating point for the cis and trans isomer.